Oh, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hopefully you had a great weekend. For those of you guys that were tuned in and were curious about my poker tournament, I played on Saturday. For those of you that weren't watching and weren't up on it, I played on Saturday. I had to get through all 12 levels. I made it up to the 12th level, and I took a bad beat on my hand. I had trip aces, and a guy had flopped 2 diamonds on the flop, so he stayed in all the way. So with the 2 diamonds that he had in his hand, the 1 diamond on the flop that gave him a total of 3 diamonds, he basically stayed in to go runner river. So he got 2 cards that he needed to give him a flush, and he busted my 3 of a kind, and I got busted out of the tournament. I had a really healthy chip stack at that point, and you know, when the flop came, you know, my pocket aces, there was 1 ace on the board, and it was pretty much looking like a rainbow. You know, it had a spade, a club, and a diamond on the flop. So a spade, a club, a diamond, and then you know, like I said, there was an ace on that flop, so I went all in with my trip aces. He sat there for a good minute or 2 minutes before he finally called me, and he went runner, runner. I mean, he didn't even hit a pair. He had a king, and he had a queen of diamonds, and you know, sure enough, he went runner, runner for that flush and knocked me out. And it was on level 12. I had about 4 minutes to go for the level. If I had just sat there and not played anymore and got up and left, I would have made the next day. But when you get pocket aces, you got to play them. So I played them and didn't quite go as I wanted. However, the best part was I did go to a cash game afterwards. Well, actually, I will say it's not the best thing that happened. The best thing that happened was actually I got the free roll into the tournament. But the nice thing was, after the tournament, I was busted out. I went over to a cash game, and I made significantly more money than, I mean, I had sat down only with $100, and I chipped up quite a bit before I left, so I was very happy with that. And didn't bother me at all. I mean, I had a great night, a lot of fun, and I had a great cash table, a lot of action. I mean, pots were getting easily over the $1,000, you know, for pots. I mean, it was great. So it was really a fun night. Unfortunately, as I said, I didn't quite practice my chip management as much as I should have. But I don't know too many professionals that would walk away from pocket aces when they're that close to the money either. Because, you know, I replayed it in my head, going, man, maybe I should have just not played those aces. But you know what? The truth of the matter is, there's not a professional card player out there that would have played it differently than I did. I mean, with my pocket aces, I put a big bet in there. I got most everybody out of the pot, and because the blinds were pretty nice sized blinds, and you know, the ante was there, so I was more than happy just to take that down with my pocket aces. And so I put a nice big bet out, and the only guy that stayed in was the guy with the king, queen of diamonds. And I don't even know why he was in that pot at that point. But even after the flop, you know, a diamond came, so he was only 3 diamonds. He had nothing on that board. And with my ace should have scared, especially with an all-in bet, that ace should have scared him out of that pot. He had nothing. He had 3 diamonds, a king, a queen, and 1 ace. I don't know what, no matter what he looked at, he was going to have to go runner, runner for something. So, but apparently he plays different than most people, and he was there.
Thank you, madam. Can I take your order?
Yes, can I get a large Diet Coke?
A large Diet Coke, anything else for you?
No, that'll do it. Thank you.
Come on down to the second window, please.
All right.
Thank you.
Must be short staffed today. Yeah.
$1.92.
No, $1.
1 and 7. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Be right back with you.
All right. You guys short-staffed this morning?
Yeah, we are.
I was gonna say it looks like.
On Monday.
I was gonna say Monday's the only one that 3-day weekend. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I'd
I'll be taking off Sunday.
Have a good night. See you. You see that shit? You're trying over. Do you see people? People think you don't know what the fucking pricing is. $1.90. No, man. Try $1. And then she knew exactly how much it was. I don't know why she quoted me the wrong price, unless she's gonna pocket it. You know, you overcharge somebody $1 at a time, you pocket the rest, I guess. I don't know. That pissed me off. Know your job. All right. Well, so hopefully today will be a good day for everybody. Get off to a good start. Oh, I didn't do too much this weekend. I was actually going to go and finish some of my homework, and I did a little bit. But I didn't really get too much into it. I did go see a couple movies. I went and seen Into the Spider-Verse, the Spider-Man animated one. It was okay. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes gave it way more than it should have. It wasn't all that. I mean, it was okay for an animated, you know, but I don't know. I didn't think it was as good as they really pumped it up to be. So I was kind of like, it is what it is, I guess. And then what was the other one I went and seen? Let me think. Oh, it was The Boy Who Would Be King. It was a one about a boy in King, kind of like Kid in King Arthur's Court type of a thing. It was a little boy that pulled Excalibur from a slab, and I hate to say this, but it was actually pretty good. You know, it was, especially for kids, it's great. I mean, I just went and seen it because I was going to go see Bumblebee or some of the other ones, but I was like, you know what? It's kind of fun to see those kind of movies, and it was actually pretty good. And Rotten Tomatoes gave that one about, I think, 80-something, 83 or something, and it was, you know, deservedly so. It was a pretty decent movie. But it reminded me, it kind of had the Harry Potter type of a feel to it. So I think that's probably why it did so well. So maybe this week I'll go see a couple more. There really wasn't anything. I didn't want to go see Glass just because it was an M. Night Shyamalan, and I hate, you know, I went and I've seen The Village. I went and seen his other one that he did. What the hell was it? Not Glass. Oh, man. I've seen it, and they were garbage. I'm just so disappointed in his movies. He had one good one. He had one good movie that I enjoyed, and that was The Sixth Sense. I think that was the one he did, and I enjoyed that one. But, you know, when you look at Signs, you know, and I'm like, Signs was one of those ones I was kind of going, okay, so these aliens capable of interstellar travel, super smart, invade Earth that is covered by water, which is basically acid to them, and they're trying to invade our planet. And it didn't, you know, we've got rain, we've got humidity, we've got all these things on our planet to deal with water, and these intelligent aliens are going to invade it. Yeah, it just didn't, I don't know if he really thought that through. He was just like, yeah, wouldn't this be a good movie? So, yeah, not a big fan. So anyway, not too much went on this weekend. after the tournament. I got home. Let me see. The tournament was, well, I went Friday night. Yeah, the tournament played Friday night. Then I had all Saturday and all Sunday to kind of do what I wanted. That's when I went and did the movies. And I will tell you, I don't know what it was. Like, I literally, I didn't get home until Saturday morning at about, I don't know, 3:30. I climbed into bed at like 4 a.m. Saturday morning. And I went to a Waffle House after the tournament. I go to a Waffle House. These things are everywhere. I mean, you know, I love Waffle House. I'm like a huge fan of Waffle House. So I go there and I'm still watching the carbs and trying to eat smart, and eat well. And I get there and they say, what do you want? So I said, well, I want an omelet, because omelet wasn't on their menu. I'm looking at the menu. They've got eggs, steak and eggs, everything had hash browns or carbs. And I says, can't I just get an omelet? And the lady says, oh yeah. And she reaches back, she gives me a different menu, and it has omelets on, like ham and cheese omelet. I said, okay, give me a ham and cheese omelet. She says, well, do you want that fluffy or regular? I don't know anything other than a regular omelet. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, yes, I want it fluffy or regular. And she's like, well, which one? They're two different kinds. And I said, two different kinds of omelets? I've never heard that. So the guy, I'm talking to the guy who's making them. I said, what's the difference between a fluffy omelet and a regular omelet? And he says, fluffy omelet is fluffier. I said, oh, okay. I said, but do you put something special into it? Or he says, no, not really. He says, I'll tell you what. He goes, if you want, I can make you one of each. And I'm thinking he was going to charge me for, 2 omelets. And I was like, well, I don't want to pay for 2 omelets. He says, no. He says, I'll make one, because I was getting a 4-egg omelet. He goes, I'll use 2 eggs to make you one and 2 eggs to make the other, and then you can tell. I said, oh, okay. So he makes both omelets. He brings them over, and the one was, it was much thicker. And I said, okay, so how did this, you could visibly see the difference. I said, okay, so explain to me the difference. One of them, apparently, they have like this little blender hand tool. They put it in and they blend it. Now, I've owned restaurants, and I just always thought that was kind of the way that they were made. I mean, so he makes it and aerates the egg and everything and makes it a much lighter, egg yolk or whatever you want to call it. So that was really the only difference. But they both taste very well, very good. So that was my lesson, over the weekend. Sometimes you have, like I said, I've owned restaurants, and my chef always did everything, so I just naturally assumed that's how it was. But that's how my chef would make everything. So he would make it to where I guess it was fluffy. So because I usually didn't even eat eggs, but now with this diet, I've eaten a ton of them. So anyway, yeah, that was the Waffle House training event, I guess. Oh man! So today I get to go in. So for those of you guys that are watching and joining me this morning, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging with me during the morning drive. This is kind of all it really is. In the mornings and the afternoons, kind of like thinking out loud. That's kind of what I do. Is just kind of go through my day and what's going to be going on. If there's something I've seen in the news that hits a spot, I'll mention that. I mean, I did see that, I've been watching over the couple days. There's the government shutdown apparently is ended. I don't know if Trump caved into Pelosi or if he has something bigger in mind. I mean, he might have just said, you know what, I'm not going to punish the American people for what Pelosi and the Democrats are doing. I have an alternative that I'm going to do, and he might be just getting ready to do the, if they can't come to an agreement, he might be doing something where he's going to pull funding from someplace else, or he's going to declare a national emergency, whatever. I don't know what he's going to do yet. I'm kind of curious to find out, but I haven't watched a lot of the news to figure out exactly what his plans were, or maybe he just said, look, other problems in this country need to be fixed, and we'll put the wall on the back burner. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of his thing, was he campaigned with it, so I don't know. Anyway, this is so yeah. Once again, thanks for sticking with me on the morning drive. You know, if you could, I really truly appreciate everybody that follows me on my channel. And now I'm going to be probably over the next couple weeks, you'll probably see some changes in the channel over the couple weeks. I'm going to probably change the overlays to it. I'm going to change the name, I think. I got some emails, some great suggestions, and you're always welcome to email me, povamerica@outlook.com. Always welcome to email me and give me the suggestions, the feedback. I love it. I think, you know, it's been invaluable for putting together. As you guys know, I'm a new streamer, so I'm just getting into this, trying to find my ground, trying to find my feet of what's gonna be me, what's gonna be comfortable. And the POV, the feedback I've been getting is POV America. It's kind of it really doesn't say anything to anybody, and that's one of the things that you know, they had said is that it's something that you want to name your show, either something personal or to you, or something that people can watch and actually remember. And POV America, they said, is more like what they say, like a Good Morning America type sounding name, where you know, it doesn't draw anybody into it. So they said you should just have some fun and name it whatever, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So hopefully over the next couple weeks I'll be making those changes. You guys may notice even though I'm stopping by McDonald's, I'm not doing the breakfast. You know, I was usually getting the eggs and the sausage for breakfast. I was eating that. I don't know, man. It's weird. As much as I've been eating, my appetite is just not there anymore. It's just like I'm eating constantly. I'm eating, but like in the mornings when I was always super hungry, I'm finding myself, you know, I'm fine until lunchtime. Then lunch, you know, I'll get a salad or I'll have something for lunch, but I'm constantly munching, constantly, you know, snacking on things. So in the morning when I get up, I don't even want to have any breakfast. I just kind of eat it, even though they're like, oh, you got to have breakfast. I'm like, you know what, man, I just can't do it. I mean, I have my soda, some caffeine to get going, but there's just no way I can do breakfast all the time. I mean, if I get, like today, if I would have gotten up earlier, and that's nothing, my time that I'm getting up, I'm trying to push a little bit later so I can get a little bit more sleep. Tonight I got about, I think I got about 3.5, 4 hours sleep. So I'm doing, you know, and for those of you that have been watching, you know, I don't get a lot of sleep. I do only 3 or 4 hours a night. That's about it. Been that way ever since I got out of the Army. When I was in the Army, you get 3 or 4 hours. You know, you're not constantly sleeping all day. It just, you get 3 or 4 hours, you're lucky. So that's kind of where I'm at. My whole life I've been doing 3, 4 hours, sometimes 5 if I can get it. You know, and my sleep schedule is just, I will go from, you know, I wake up now, I'm doing 5:45 in the morning. My alarm goes off at 5:45. I'm usually out the door by, here again, this goes back to the military. How long does it take you really to shit, shower, and shave and get out the door and get dressed if you're prepared? I'm out of the door within 15 minutes, 20 minutes if I take my time. I'm out the door. I don't need the coffee, you know, sit down and read the paper. I don't need all that to get my morning started. The shower kicks it off. I get dressed. I'm out the door. It's really weird to find out that, you know, some people take an hour to get ready, or some people take forever. I just simply, I get dressed, I'm gone. I mean, literally, I'm out that door. And that's kind of how it's been forever, since I was in the military. I don't spend all morning primping and prepping. I'm just like, look, it is what it is. Here's my clothes. I set my clothes out the night before. When I was in the Army, every day. Your uniforms are cleaned, you're pressed. I mean, you got to look a certain way. You want to be professional because no matter how you look at it, the military is a profession. It is truly where you are expected to be at your best at all times, not just physically, mentally, but even aesthetically. You have to have that look of professionalism, and it kind of breeds it into you. So when you get out, you find out, you know what, my stuff is always ready, always clean, always laid out. It's a way of life. You kind of just have been, over the years, year after year after year, you're in the military, this is what you do. It becomes a habit. And it's a habit that carries over into your regular life, which is really awesome. I mean, that's what I always tell people, especially young people, which I was at one time. But I always tell them, I said, look, if you're not sure, and you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to go, and you're kind of floating, I'll tell everybody every time, there is nothing that beats enlisting in the military. Whatever service you want to, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. A lot of people will tell you otherwise, but anybody that's served will tell you that it is probably one of the highest honors you can do for your country. And I always encourage people, look, you know what? Serve your country. It will build you into something that will become, and don't, it's not like, it'll build you into a killing machine. No, it will do so much more than build character, because a lot of people say the military, excuse me, is good character building, which it is, but it will teach you the values, it'll teach you the things in life that really truly matter. Not just how to be a better person, because it will make you a better person, but it'll teach you the responsibility, the dedication, the commitment, all the things that are necessary in life to succeed. Now, and the nice thing about it is, whatever your interest, the military has a profession for it. If you're let's say you want to be a writer, they have a journalistic, they have a core of people that are journalists that cover all the military things for all the publications that are out there military-wise, and there's a lot. I mean, if you want to be I was military intelligence. It taught me an immense amount of technology I got to learn and experience and hands-on with. But yeah, it's definitely worth doing. If you've never been in the military and you're young and you're not sure, because there's so many people that get out of high school and they don't want to go right into college. Some of them do want to go into college, and that's fine. You can also go to college and enlist as an officer. But for those that get out and they don't want to work the minimum wage jobs, they're just not sure. But maybe they say, oh, I'd love to be a pilot, or I'd love to do this, or I'd love to do that. There's every single one of the armed forces has some kind of a career for you that not only can you get and go into it and be in that career, you can actually carry it outside. Once you're out, you can make a career, or you can stay in. And what you'll find is there's many people that, especially when you're young, you can get into. I have a friend of mine who literally got in right after high school. He joined the military, and he put his time in. Now he's 40. He just turned 40 a little while ago, and he's retired. So every single month for the rest of his life, he gets a military retirement, which is not too shabby, I'm going to tell you. And so those are the type of things that you don't even think about. Your first enlistment, you've done 4 years. Let's say you do a 4-year enlistment in the Army. So you can do the first 4 years. You're like, wow, I've traveled all over. I've been to Germany. I've been here. I've been there. I've been all around the world. Or I've got a profession I've really enjoyed. I got friends I've made. So I'll do another 4 years. And you go ahead and you do another re-enlistment for 4. You got 8 years in. you can retire after 20 years in the military. So, you know, you got 8 years in, you're more than halfway to retirement right there. And so what's it for to do another 4 and another 4? It's not. It's really, and you're still, yeah, at 40, you can still, or even at 30s if you're in your, you know, if you join when you're 18, you can be 38 when you retire if you want. So it's really one of those professions that I strongly encourage people to look at, because it really, I mean, it is next to my kids, next to my wife, and it is one of the most proudest accomplishments I've ever done. I loved serving our country. I loved making it something, you know, that was not just for me. You know, it wasn't just me being self-centered, wanting to join the military because, oh, well, they give you, at the time I joined, oh, they give you $25,000 for college, and, you know, and there was a lot of great reasons to join, but that wasn't the only reason I joined. I mean, I joined because I wanted, you know, I had an uncle that was in the military. I had a great uncle that was in the military. I had, you know, a cousin that was, I mean, basically throughout my entire, everybody in my family, we have a very strong military background of serving our country. So I wanted to make my parents proud, to be proud myself. I wanted to really do something I was proud of doing, and I am, and I was. So that's kind of something that I keep very personal to me. Great accomplishment. So, and I still got to go to college, and which is another thing. If you go to college, I strongly suggest to you, have a focus, know what you want to do. I went to college, and I took only the classes that I wanted to take. I took my Psychology 1, Psychology 2. I took History, and, you know, only the classes that I wanted to take, which is not the way to do it. Because apparently, and go figure this out, they want certain classes for a degree. And most people go to college to get a degree. They want a piece of paper they can hang on the wall and say, look, I have a degree. And this degree is something that a lot of companies, the company's mentality is, oh, well, you have a piece of paper on the wall that shows you went through this school, so you deserve this job because you have a piece of paper on the wall. And that was, you know, that's kind of the mentality that companies have today. And, you know, I myself never saw the value of it. I saw the value of my education, the value of wanting to take the classes that interested me. So I would take philosophy, logic, and I would take psychologies and history and whatever. You know, I would take all the classes that I enjoyed. I wouldn't take like algebra, trigonometry, geometry. You know, I wouldn't take them to save my life. Why? Because I was like, I'm never going to use. I'm not an architect. I'm not in any profession that is going to use that particular type of math. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a chemist. I don't need to know 90% of that math that they want to teach. So I wouldn't take any of the math classes. Now, have I used algebra? I probably used it every day in my business. I've had many different businesses. Being in computers, being in technology, being in, the restaurant industry. I've had business centers. I've had a lot of different experiences where I am sure, yes, I probably have used algebra or other forms of math. Did I know that that's what I was using at the time? Probably not. Especially if you're dealing with statistics or you're trying to put, okay, well, these numbers have to, for example, logic was using formulas like De Morgan's theorem. And so I know that was algebraic, but I didn't learn algebra. I just learned what I needed to learn for that philosophy class. So it was really self-serving because I just took what I wanted, and I strongly suggest putting a focus on a degree because for some reason some companies want that. They don't care that you went to college. They don't care. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Now, things are, what do they call it, cyclical? You know, they're actually, they run in cycles. It used to be where, back in the day, they didn't care what you did. How can I put this? They didn't care that you didn't have a degree. They wanted to just know that you could do the job. Well, then that changed. Over the years, it became, as companies came out, they got newer, they got bigger or whatever, they started putting more faith in a piece of paper on a wall. And I'm going to tell you guys, and you know this is true, I'm not making this up, you have some of the most stupid people, the dumbest people in the world can get a college degree. They can sit through a class, or they can fake it. They don't really have to. They don't have smarts. They just have, if you tell them just do this, they will just do that. If you say you have to pass this test, they will just, but they won't learn anything. They listen but don't learn. And there's some of the most stupid people that I know personally. There are people that I know that are out there that I've worked with in the past, the dumbest people. I mean, business-wise, you know, just all stupidest people with degrees. They went through, they spent the time to get a degree, but are absolutely dumb as rocks. So what happened was, companies were saying, we want somebody with a bachelor's degree, we want somebody with an associate's, a master's degree. Now, they didn't say anywhere in their job postings, we are looking for somebody that can do this job. No, they say, well, here's what's required, but you got to have a degree to do this, and they were hiring people with degrees. Now, meanwhile, there are tons of people out there that have the experience, that have done the job, that can do the job, and that will do it better than anybody with a degree, but because they didn't have that piece of paper on the wall, you know, that they said, oh, I went through these classes, and look at me, because they didn't have that, they didn't get hired. And many times the people that are put in those positions are absolutely, what do? They don't make anything in your company better because they, number one, don't have the experience to, but number two, if this is the way it was, that's what they fall into. They never try to change it to make it better. They're just like, well, this is the way it was done, and this is the way it's always going to be done. They don't look for improvement. They don't look for anything like that because that wasn't part of their teaching. They were just taught this. Well, now that's changed. I've been seeing over the last 5 years, 6 years, that's changed. Again, companies are starting to go back to the people that have experience in the field. Now they're starting to go back and go, you know what? Before it was like, this is a degree required. Now it's like, well, you can use experience in lieu of the education, which is the way it should be. Because there's so many people out there that have gotten in jobs where they have tons of experience, they're absolutely amazing at the job, and they just haven't had time to go and take the rest of the classes that they need or the classes they need for that piece of paper. So it's like, to me, if you want to hire somebody in a specific position, it's always better to find people that literally have been doing it, who can bring something new to the table other than a piece of paper on a wall for book studies, because there's book studies and then there's real world. And I'm going to tell you what, as much as they want to tell you they match, they don't. What you learn in the books, and that's nothing to do with reality, because laws change, everything, business processes change, and you've got to be on the dime, you've got to be on the money when that change happens, or you're going to be left behind. In books, just can't, the information put into books, by the time the book is written, the information is placed in there, sent to the printing press, printed off in the number of copies it needs to be sent, approved through the bureaucracy of what books can be approved as a curriculum. Before, once it goes through all of that, by the time you get that book in your hand to learn, or it gets put on the net after it's approved, things have changed. Everything's changed again. So now everything you're reading is just that. It's just book smarts, no practical application in real life. So it's actually very interesting. Oh. Somebody's getting a speeding ticket. Unmarked car, look at that. And I fly through this place every morning, but not today. We'll make sure. Make sure we get no tickets. Anyway, guys, so that's kind of my thing. Things are changing again. Once, way back when, they just wanted experienced people in these positions. Then companies moved to degrees because the experts, I love that, the experts say that if you have a degree, you have the commitment of what it takes to stay in a position and to learn it. Really? So the 10 years I was in that position, or the 15 years there, that doesn't tell you that I have that, right? You'd rather have a piece of paper that says I could take a book class, you know. So I kind of smile when I see that kind of stuff, because it's changing again. Now companies are realize the true value isn't necessarily in what they thought it was going to be, and it's not in that piece of paper. It's in the individual. And when you start having more faith in the individuals that are there to perform the job, and that right away translates to them that you value them for their abilities, not for just a piece of paper. And don't get me wrong, degrees are great, but I strongly suggest getting in the field that you want to get into that field as early as you can, as quick as you can, and if there's other ways to do it without getting the degree, get in there and still get the degree. Stay in classes, stay in college, go through, but get in the field as quick as you can, because if you can have both the experience and the degree, you are that much more valuable to any company. So I'm not advocating not going to school or not getting a degree, and I'm not saying that degree's not important. It is important. But I'm saying get into the field if you can, even at an entry-level position, get into the field you want to be in, and get into it to where you know that the value is going to be there, because not only do you have the experience, you'll also have that education that goes along with it. Guys, I'm actually coming up to work, so this is where I usually start losing everybody. So if you hung with me during the drive and listen to my babble and bullshit, I appreciate it. Like I said, this is just kind of thinking out loud, so it is what it is. I do appreciate you joining me on the morning drive. I will be in the afternoon about 3:15, 3:30. I'll be doing the afternoon drive back. And I appreciate you. I'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll pick up the live stream again at 7 because we missed a couple days on and off. I probably will end up having a broken connection up here for a few minutes until I get parked, and then I'll say goodbye to you. But please subscribe, follow me if you can, and kind of join with me and give me some encouragement, and send those emails, povamerica@outlook.com. Give me some feedback. Let me know how I can improve the stream. I'm a new streamer, so I'm just getting into this, and I'm trying to make sure that as I do, I learn from the people that are watching, I learn from the people that are doing, and I really do appreciate every bit of encouragement and every bit of information you give me to make things better. So I'm going to probably lose you in a second here. I usually lose you right in about 5 seconds next to this Coke plate. Won't talk too much unless in Florida. Fucking Florida. Alright guys, I will start to say goodbye. It is about 10 to 7. It's about 10 to 7, and I am going to be heading in. They've got pallets of water out there for us again. Take all the water you want. Oh, here we go. Thanks again, guys, for watching. I'm going to try and do my best for you today and get on the streams the way I'm supposed to again. get back to the schedule. And I appreciate everything you do. It is like 30 degrees here. I'm catching a cold. You probably hear it. You can probably hear it. I'm coming down with the cold. Florida sucks. I'm sorry to say it. I mean, it's just not my cup of tea. So I will. Oh, you got an asshole in a Tacoma truck out to block his ass in. I hate people that take fucking 2 spaces because they don't know how to park. Anyway. Woo, here we go. Have a great day, folks. I'll try not to come down with a cold. And I will see you after work today. As I said, I'll pick up the afternoon drive stream about 3:15, 3:30-ish. We'll do that. And I will be there this evening, 7 o'clock. If you can join me, I would appreciate it. I love to have people on. I'm still going to find a way. I actually ordered 2 brackets today. I might be able to have a tablet in here and I sync with my phone to where I can have some kind of audible chat or whatnot. I'm looking at the different options that are out there. So do me a favor, follow me if you can, subscribe. I appreciate everybody. I'll see you this afternoon around 3:15, 3:30. We'll do it again. Thanks for hanging with me. Have a great day. Happy Monday to you.